Hi, thanks for coming. The title of this video is The Battle Between Truth and Untruth. And I've been thinking about this for a while. This is a particular time in history when we're shifting from one time period to another. And this issue has been talked about quite a bit long before you or I were on the earth. The guru of Swami Yogananda, Sri Yukteswar, wrote a book called The Holy Science, in which he was talking about the switching from one yuga to another, and he made a very convincing argument in that book, which was written in the early 1900s, I believe. Where he talked about the invention of the steam engine and the telegraph, and all this was the precursors of the Satya Yuga, and saying that the time period of the transition was happening even then. I think, and what I invest. This is a long time. I read this back in the 70s, 1970s, and everything then has been a confirmation. The events that have happened after I read that book have been a confirmation of that. So much so that um, there are now documentaries dealing with some of the issues that are inherent in the holy science. One of them is one of the titles of one of the videos was, "Are we in the Matrix?" Well, of course we are, but you know, uh, so it's just now starting to move out into people's consciousness. One of the most interesting things to me, if we're talking about that, is a Scientific American article about two mathematicians that calculated how big the universe would have to be to have all the possible variations of reality being expressed somewhere in the universe. In other words, I'm right-handed. There's somewhere in the universe a Michael Weir that's left-handed. Pretty strange, right? Well, you want to know the strangest thing? Is that their calculation showed that the universe was bigger than all the possible variations. Wow. And since then, our conception of the universe has gotten bigger. Wow, again. So all possible versions of yourself are out there. Well, when you have extraordinary claims, you always have to ask the question, is it true? Okay, so there's a blog called Humans Are Free. And in that blog, they just were talking about how, again, we are in an illusion. Now, I hate to tell you that the Vedas have had that concept for many millennia, and it's called Maya, the illusion. And what they say is that everything is an illusion except the concept of God. But bear with me for just a minute. Well, we're past that moment. This is a video that intends to hide the truth. If you've had enough interest in this subject, you're the person I want to talk to. This video really is about how to manifest things. I was talking to Matt this morning and talking about why people go study spiritual practices. And the reason is because you want to make your life better. Okay, well, you can think, I'm going to do these spiritual practices and I'll make my life better in the future. But what Tantra says, make your life better right now. Okay, so I want to introduce a concept that's in line with the teachings of the Holy Science, which is the transition period towards the Satya Yuga, where people know the truth. So there is a connection with the beginning of this and I'm going to talk about right now. And this should be of some interest to you. Patanjali takes great care and trouble in the third chapter of the Patanjali's Yoga Sutras to talk about how to manifest things at a distance. He talks in the Yoga Sutras that there's a type of knowledge that comes to you beyond the five senses, the sense of knowing. And towards that end, he has a program of training the mind to do extraordinary things. What's the purpose of that? So you can know that this illusion can be modified by how you think and feel about things. Tantra says, make yourself happier the next instant. It also means, Tantra, to make a weaving of your thoughts and feelings. Well, if you have the ability to change your reality, then you should want to make yourself happier. Not tomorrow, not the next hour, right now. So even your thoughts about the future should make you happier right now. Okay. We know how. The Golden Lotus Fellowship knows how to make things happen. So whatever you think you wanted, you can make that appear. I've already made videos that laid the foundation for what I'm going to say. If you've ever seen the movie The Karate Kid, you'll recognize the teaching method of Mr. Miyagi. Mr. Miyagi taught the Karate Kid how to wax on, wax off. Okay. Later on, he would use that technique to show him how that automatic response of waxing on, wax off could deflect any blow coming at you. So it's just a matter of putting the parts together. So let me talk about putting the parts together for manifesting whatever you want. Okay. The most powerful mantra for making connection between yourself and your higher self is the Gayatri Mantra. If you do the Gayatri Mantra, sooner or later, you're going to feel the upwelling of energy. That is who you really are. It's not that this is something that's foreign to you. This is happening right now. So doing the Gayatri Mantra is to recognize that upwelling. Now, the next step is to see that energy upwelling in a spiral manner, spiraling up 3.5 times from the Muladhara to the Ajna chakra and to the crown chakra. That magnifies the effect of the Gayatri Mantra. So much so that just doing those 2 practices will bring on the state of samadhi. Okay. So you're in the state of samadhi by doing those 2 practices. What does that have to do with manifesting things? Well, nothing particular at that moment. It's what happens afterwards that the magic happens. Most everybody talks about the energy rising. They don't talk about it coming back down. It's when you see the energy spiraling down with the intention of the Ajna chakra is that things manifest. And it's at that moment that you have the things like the law of attraction, your vision boards, and all those other techniques become activated by the energy. Okay. 3 simple techniques that has a profound effect on your life. So the question, okay, so let me ask you a couple of questions. Does that description of technique say anything about quote unquote a guru? No. This is something you can do on your own. If you have the intensity and the dedication to it, absolutely. There's many stories in the Vedas about people that have done just that, including the story of Vishwamitra, who hated Vasishtha, his quote-unquote guru. So this is really the only thing you want to say to yourself is, okay, here's a claim saying that I can get what I want. Does it say what you want? No. It's what you determine. Now, there are some caveats along the way, and you can learn them through experience or through other means, including from a guru. There's always a cost for learning this. Sometimes it's time and money, and sometimes it's just money. There are people that can manifest things for money. All you have to do is find them. And and pay the price. And they can manifest it for you. What they don't tell you is that there's unintended consequences. I remember seeing one of those people in a documentary. And this was a guy that lived next to the Ganges. And when people would come along, he said, well, I can help you get rid of your karma. And absolutely he could. But you should have seen him. He was just loaded down with all that negative karma. Yeah, the people didn't care. They got rid of their karma. They paid some money. Did they change their behavior so they didn't do that again? Well, that's another question, isn't it? So why does the universe do all this? Why does it go through these cycles of truth and untruths? The answer to that is one of the unanswerable questions. The partial answer is that God is neither a Mr. nor a Mrs., but a mystery. And as you go along, what you find is that you enter the mystery. So why am I doing this video? It will help people who aren't really spiritually developed get an answer how to get what they want. Well, that's another mystery. It is going to happen. The only question you should ask yourself, okay, here's a statement. Is it true? Can it be tested? What can I do? How long does it take? See, that's what I asked Matt this morning. I said, hey Matt, if you knew back when, a year ago, what you know now, would you have done anything different? And I think the essence of his answer was, well, yeah, I would have jumped on it faster. Okay. There are a lot of questions that are left unanswered in this video. But suffice it to say, this is an outline of something that you can have whatever you want in the shortest possible time. All you need to do is test it. And then you know. Thank you.